the race for the Makueni senatorial seat has taken a different turn, with IEBC officials indicting Wiper Party aspirant Kathy Kilonzo of fraud. This as the electoral body conceded to a flawed registration process in the March 4th general election. We will have details of the tribunal hearing that will make or break Kathy Kilonzo's political career. Also in this bulletin, we will tell you another use of containers that has been discovered by children in the North Rift. That is a story you don't want to miss. And in our Survivor series, we will take you all the way to the Tana and tell you the story of two women who have borne the brunt of the clashes. This is Saturday Night Live. I'm Linda Ogutu. Let's first look at the highlights on the 6th day of July 2013.
Having undertaken a search in the biometric voter register, he was unable to establish that Ms. Kathy Kilonzo was registered in the register.
Fraudulent registration, or is it? Arguments and counter-arguments over Kathy's candidature.
We have come here in mass to register in NAT, and that is where we belong, and we shall take instructions right away from NAT.
Jumping sheep, teachers ditch Kupet for NAT despite deal with TSC.
Moto ilikuwa imesidi, ilikuwa inachoma nyumba karibu yote.
Too much to bear. A mother loses 4 children in Naivasha fire tragedy. And in sports news, Baldev inches closer to maiden Safari Rally victory. Many thanks for joining us. Now, the second day of the Makueni Senate Race Tribunal hearings saw the IEBC Director of Voter Registration claim that Kathy's voter registration acknowledgement slip was stolen from the Commission's custody. The IEBC official says the slip is among 4 other registration slips that disappeared from the booklet that was exclusively used to register the president and was sealed. And as KTN Samugina reports, the primary voters register, also known as the Green Book for Langata constituency, revealed Kathy was not in the voters register.
The authenticity of Kathy Kilonzo's voter slip was damaged on the second day of the IEBC Dispute Resolution Tribunal hearing. The Electoral Agency's Director of Voter Registration, Immaculate Kasait, sensationally claimed Kathy's acknowledgement slip was stolen from an exclusive booklet that registered the former President Mwai Kibaki at the launch of the voter registration exercise. The booklet would be sealed not to be used to register anyone else.
We did not recover the booklet. The booklet never left.
It's only the slips which left.
The slips were stolen from that book.
Kathy's voter slip is alleged to be among 4 others missing from the exclusive booklet that was in the custody of the Electoral Agency, manned by the manager of voter planning at IEBC.
This slip was in the custody of the Commission, and when we interrogated the acknowledgement, the booklet, this specific serial number and another 4 were missing from the Commission.
Certifying the authenticity of the slip as IEBC's document, Kasait was, however, hard pressed to explain how the slip left the agency's custody.
I believe, like I have done, we have made a report to my supervisors, and this is a matter of investigation, members of the panel.
Nonetheless, the official claimed Kathy's registration slip was never issued to anyone in the country. But she was challenged when the defense produced at least 3 voters' cards with anomalies similar to Kathy's bearing dates outside the registration period. Kathy's voter slip bears 2011 as her registration date.
Witness has made very serious allegations. We are going to take our time to interrogate this issue. It is that simple. We undertaken a search in the biometric voter register. He was unable to establish that Ms. Kathy Kilonzo was registered in the register.
Kathy lost a tussle over scrutiny of 2 master voter registers, the Green Books, that were in the custody of IEBC's warehouse. Her legal team had contested that the ballot box containing the green books had been tampered with by the National Intelligence Service (NIS), but were overruled. A further scrutiny of the green books indicated Diana Kefi Kilonzo was not on the Lang'ata voters' roll.
In the first book, was the name of Katie Kilonzo there?
No.
The second book?
No.
The third book?
No.
On the flip side, IEBC was put to task on various discrepancies appearing in their own polls book. Both the Director of Voter Registration and the Lang'ata returning officer caved in to the glaring inconsistencies that surfaced, admitting that the registration process was indeed flawed. Meanwhile, the Jubilee aspirant under NAC party, Professor Philip Kaloki's eligibility was also contested. The ruling on the two cases that is likely to shape the Makueni Senate seat race will be delivered on Monday. Samogina, KTN, Nairobi.
So that is a story that continues to unfold. Of course, we're keeping an eye on it for you. Elsewhere, hundreds of teachers belonging to the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Teachers, KUPPET, have defected to the rival teachers union NAT, despite the union sealing a deal with TSC. They accused the top KUPPET leadership of calling off the strike without agreeing on a tangible return to work formula with clear figures on how teachers stand to benefit. However, KUPPET Secretary General Akelo Misori claims those defecting were not KUPPET members but imposters.
In Murang'a County, over 300 members of KUPPET dumped their union and joined the rival Kenya National Union of Teachers, KNUT. The members carried a casket for KUPPET, which they later burnt to signify the end of their association. They said they were disappointed by the actions of KUPPET's top leadership to call off the strike, claiming the union was a government project and its leaders had failed to fight for their rights. In the KUPPET TSC deal, teachers were to be paid their June salaries on condition that they return to classes on Monday. The government was also to form a committee to negotiate with KUPPET on their terms and conditions of service. In Machakos County, another group of KUPPET members also defected to KNUT. In Uasin Gishu County, several members of KUPPET conveyed at the Eldoret Polytechnic and decamped to KNUT.
I want to tell our national officials in Nairobi, the likes of Milemba and Omboko, that they cannot just prematurely call off a strike without consulting members.
The defection wave also spread to Meru and Kisumu counties, with KUPPET members signing up with the giant KNUT.
We have come here in mass to register in NAT, and that is where we belong, and we shall take instructions right away from NAT.
I've come here to defect because I don't want to belong to KUPPET. In fact, KUPPET stole us away. We did not apply to be there.
A section of disappointed KUPPET members in Narok County also expressed their disappointment over the KUPPET deal and joined KNUT. The same was registered in Bungoma County. And speaking at Mudhedheni Girls during a funds drive, Machakos Senator Johnson Muthama called on the government to pay teachers and stop the wrangling in schools.
Msibabaike na wale wa KUPPET, mimi nataka kuwaambia hivi, waungane na wale wengine wapewe haki yao.
However, KUPPET Secretary General Akelo Misori played down the defections, claiming the membership was intact.
Because if somebody claims to be a teacher from Gori Secondary Schools, where I came from before I came to the national office, and I know is somebody who is a border fellow in a bus stage, so that issue is just drama.
KNUT has said it will not call off strike until the government yields to its demands and puts a favorable offer on the table for a return to work formula. Patrick Amimo, KTN.
Right, let's now take you to the coast. In Mombasa, Governor Ali Hassan Joho has reversed his decision to sack council workers and instead urged them to report to work on Monday. Joho says the workers' demands have been met and their salaries have already been deposited to the individual accounts. At the same time, the governor promised to pay workers on the 28th day of every month in future. The workers had downed their tools over delayed pay.
We have launched Project 28th. Meaning that every 28th day of the month wafanyikazi wote wa county ya Mombasa, wa baraza and other departments watakuwa wanalipwa mshahara wao. Ni kwa sababu you must remember serikali ni mpya na serikali haikuwa na na disbursement kutoka the national government, tulikuwa na madeni, tulikuwa na shida statutory deductions ambazo hazikuwahi kufanywa that led to the freeze of our accounts, but that now has been dealt with. Now I don't think for the next 5 years, starting August, we're going to have any problems in paying salaries to our people.
A village in Naivasha County is in mourning after 4 children from the same family were burnt to death last night. The fire at Kiambogo village that is believed to have started from the kitchen razed down the timber house in minutes as the children aged between 9 and 2 years were asleep. And as Najma Ismail reports, only the mother of the children escaped as she went to seek help from neighbors.
These are the scenes that Kiambogo village woke up to following a blaze in which 4 children perished. The mother of the children, Lucy Wamboi, says she was sleeping when she noticed smoke coming from the kitchen and rushed to the neighbors for help, leaving the children behind.
Ikiwa bedroom na moshi ilikuwa sitting room. Sasa nilikuwa natoka huku niende niangalie moshi inatoka wapi. Nikakutana na moshi, mimi nikaruka nje. By
the time she was coming back, it was too late. The fire had engulfed the entire timber house, making it impossible to rescue the children.
So nilienda ile room ya watoto, nikapiga disha gumi ili watoto watoke, nikawaita na wakaitika. Sasa mimi nilikuwa nafikiria wametoka ili nikuje niite huyu brother anitolee haka kingine kalikuwa hii mwingine.
Thereafter, Lucy Wamboi and her neighbors could do nothing but watch from a distance as her children burned beyond recognition.
Bakuta moto ilikuwa imesidi, ilikuwa inachoma nyumba karibu yote. Wakati tulijaribu kuisima hiyo moto, tukaiweza. Ndiposa tulikuta watoto, kulikuwa na watoto wanne ndani ya nyumba na walikuwa wameungua wote.
It is suspected that the fire was caused by a jiko which blew up a motorcycle that was in the kitchen. And as several villagers stood by in shock, trying to come to terms with the horrific incident, some wondered how the woman left the children inside a burning house. Emotions ran high when police arrived to remove the charred bodies of the children. The mother of the children fainted, unable to withstand the sight. Najma Ismail, KTN.
Let's look at another tragedy, and the body of a 21-year-old student, William Onyango, was recovered this morning at the Chepkit waterfalls in Nandi North District after he drowned yesterday. The boy was part of a team from the African Institute of Research and Development Studies who had toured the waterfall in Mlango area on an educational trip. Masikandie with a tragic story from Nandi County.
The Chepkit Waterfalls is a local tourist attraction in Mlango area, and despite the beautiful scenery here, there is also an ugly side to it, one that residents here know well. These steep viewpoints are not well guarded. It is a risky affair visiting the falls.
Hapa Chepkit kweli ni mbaya zaidi. Kwa watu yenye namalisanga hapa karibu 50 kwa watoto na watu wakubwa.
The body of the student who fell to his death at this point was recovered this morning. The 21-year-old was with 42 other students on an educational tour. He was taking pictures of his friends when he slid and fell into the waterfall.
Tulikuwa tumekuja Mlango Falls for our educational trip. Fortunately, one of us akaslide, tukiwa pale karibu na hapo chini tukipiga picha.
The death of the student comes barely a month after a student from Moore University also lost his life in a similar incident. Residents now want the county government to construct effective barriers to prevent further tragedies.
And then a guide who is going to guide you around this place, because tuliingia poa lakini hakukuwa na any guide, so tulikuja tu tumeanza kupiga picha. We never knew which area to visit, which area is safe, ama which area no, it's out of bounds.
Sinaomba serikali kupunga hapa Chepkit, sisi sitaki tena watoto waingie hapa sababu watoto wengi wanamalizika kwa mtoni.
The Chepkit Waterfalls is a popular tourist spot for many locals, and with the rainy season, these slippery grounds pose an even higher risk to the visitors. Marcy Kandie, KTN, Nandi County.
Right, President Uhuru Kenyatta, who has been in Nakuru County on a 2-day tour of duty, today held private talks with retired President Daniel Arap Moi. Uhuru arrived at the former president's Kabarak home in Nakuru in the morning for a courtesy call. Whatever the two discussed during the meeting was not diverted to the media. After the meeting, Moi saw off President Uhuru, who proceeded to Kerugoya for the burial ceremony of veteran politician James Njeru. Speaking at Kerugoya ACK Cathedral in Kirinyaga County, President Uhuru asked politicians to desist from politics of self-interest and focus on serving the country. Uhuru urged politicians to be true servant leaders and not to engage in dirty politics. However, the president did not comment on the teachers' strike despite requests by previous speakers to help resolve the standoff.
Sisi ambaye tuko katika uongozi wakati huu, yafaa na yastahili tusome na tujifunze kutoka wazee kama hao. Tujue ya kwamba utumishi sio kwanza kujihudumia we mwenyewe kama kiongozi, lakini kuhudumia wale ambaye unaongoza.
You're watching Saturday Night Live. Thank you so much for staying with us. We are taking a short break. We'll be right back.